Warning, this podcast brought to you by a sports team fanboy living here in Miami. Would like to remind you that during this podcast you may hear swearing, yelling, ranting, a whole bunch of other stuff your ears may not be prepared for. Your discretion is advised. Hello sports fans, my name is Steve Wolf, and this is another episode of my Sport Podcast. Today, I'll be discussing the Miami Heat and Dwayne Wade as they continue on their winning ways, or at least try. That's basically a lie, but I'll get to that, as they try to do well enough before the All-Star game. And the Florida Panthers will start on a Canadian road trip, with most of their games based on the road, hence the Canadian road trip, with their two main goaltenders back in the lineup, Roberto Longo and James Reimer. Sorry, Harrison T, you've been well, but we had to send you down. Hopefully this week convinces the owners up top to give you a starting position or backup role next season. You did well. Hopefully this will contribute to the Florida Panthers getting back in their playoff hunt, and a successful one. First, the Miami Heat will face against the Toronto Raptors. The game itself went back and forth until the third quarter, and basically the Toronto Raptors managed to easily pull away from the Miami Heat, starting with a 9-0 run. Despite the Miami Heat attempting a comeback in the late stages of the fourth quarter, they basically ran out of time, and because of a missed shot by James Johnson, not to point fingers, but James Johnson had the ball and missed the final shot, and a buzzer went off, ending the game 115-112. Our leading scorers would be Goran Dragic, 28, and Dwayne Wade with 10 points. Again, the Miami Heat failed to accomplish what they can before a late-stage comeback successfully in the fourth quarter. It has been happening too many times. The next game would be against the 76ers. Despite Miami Heat having as much as a 23-point lead in the beginning of the game, the 76ers will storm back in the third quarter. For some reason, Miami Heat could not find the end of the basket, and 76ers pretty much destroyed the Miami Heat. Well, not destroyed, but this has been happening too many times. They had a good lead in the first half, and unfortunately they lose it in the second, ending the game with 104-102. Then he did have a shot to win the game again. Unfortunately, we missed the final shot. Dwayne Wade had the ball, missed the final shot, and we just lost it. Now he needs to improve this as the All-Star weekend goes on, and they have a full week to address this serious problem. Hopefully they can fix themselves about this. Oh man. We were once in the third in the standings. Actually, fourth in the standings, my bad. But now we're in eighth, a game ahead of the Pistons. And it's going to be a struggle to keep that eighth position if that's where we're heading. Hopefully this whole All-Star week break can be rejuvenized, be healthy, get their heads out of their butts, and be stronger than ever, and finish the games with the lead and maintaining it. I don't know what to say. Meanwhile, the Florida Panthers start off their whole week Canadian road trip with shocking results, actually. And the usual total number of goals usually they score between them and their opponents, usually like around 10 or 15, depending on the games. But they score a combined total of 37 these past 4 games. Shocker! But all seriousness, that's a very hard number. But it tells me that the defense needs to do their jobs better. Don't be like the Miami Heat and lose control of the game, though they actually score more than opponents. But I'll get to that. But I'm happy that they're scoring a lot and proving themselves to be a threat to contend with when the playoffs start rolling around, if they make it to the playoffs. Their first opponent will be against the Edmonton Oilers, and Trocheck's very first 3-goal game and hat-trick of his career, I believe. And that was a pretty interesting game. Though, despite the defense can do much, the game ended 7-5. Oh well. I mean, if you score so many goals, and we allow many goals, at least at this time, unlike the beginning of the season, we actually win the game that way, and not let our opponents score so much they come back and overtake us. But I'm getting hit. But this time they actually improve. Like I said, they have been improving. The next opponent will be against Vancouver Canucks. Despite Roberto Luongo returning to the lineup, they decided to go with James Reimer. Even though he didn't do that bad, unfortunately, the game was basically a shooting gallery. The first period itself had a total of 6 goals. Usually take 3 periods for that type of number to even reach there. But luckily, Reimer be able to hold on his own, and the game itself ended 4-3. Their final game, of course, will be against Calgary, and the return of Roberto Luongo. Hopefully, Harry Satie doesn't take this personal. He's our main goaltender. We signed him. But like I said, what can you do? Despite him being a little rusty, he was able to hold down the fort, as the game itself, again, high-scoring game, and it ended 6-3. Michael Matheson scoring 2 goals in the game, and I have to give credit where credit's due. The Flames' very own Dougley Hamilton scoring 3 goals of his own, the Flames' only goal scorer in that game, but we still were able to win the game 6-3. Yes. The final game of the week will be against the Edmonton Oilers, and that became a slaughterhouse for the Florida Panthers, unlike the previous 3 games. The game ended 7-2, and our only scorers will be Dennis Malgin and Alexander Barkov. Guys, defense. Come on. But all that ends well, end well. So we are so far 3 for 4 this road trip. We had another winning streak lasting about longer than 2 games. Too bad it ended on the 4th game. And we'll end this road trip with a trip to Toronto on Tuesday, and continue to at least try to get 4 out of 5. I can get down with that. On the side note, the All-Star game happening this past weekend, Wayne Ellington unfortunately couldn't get past the first round, only having 17 points in his 3-point contest. Goran Dragic will be in the All-Star game itself, replacing the injured Kevin Love, being there about 11 minutes, 2 points, and 4 rebounds. Not much, but at least it will contribute to Team LeBron's win over Team Curry's game, team 148-145. It's a strange format, I gotta say. At least, usually you vote people in, that's who your lineup is, but it's actually, you vote in people and fans vote who's in the playoffs, but it's team captains who choose who they want on their lineups. Pretty interesting thing, I gotta say. Hopefully do more in the future to ramp up the All-Star game. And that's it for now. Hopefully, the Miami Heat will be back in action on Friday, while the Florida Panthers have a few games of their own this week. And I hope they can actually succeed during this week and prove themselves to be a mighty force to contend with. My name is Stephen Wolf, and thank you for watching another episode of my Sport Podcast. I see you next time. Bye-bye.